you're listening to the Mack and T Show podcast. Here are your hosts, Brian Mackay and T Davis.
What time is it?
It's time for the Mack and T Show.
What time is it?
I said it's time for the Mack and T Show.
Welcome back to the Mack and T Show podcast. Well, once again, didn't think we'd ever
back. We's back.
We here, and lots to talk about, lots to catch up on. T, how's it going?
It's going great. In most parts of the world. Maybe all of us are feeling some of it, though. But we'll talk about that later. God is still good. Oh, yes, he is. God is a good God. Oh, my bad. You don't have to sing, because I ain't got to sing in a while on.
People, if you do catch me referencing things that went on during my high school team season, I apologize, because I tend to
it was a lot.
I tend to bring some of those stories into every conversation I have lately. So if it happens, it happens. We made it to the second round of the state tournaments. Then this is the team that won one game last season. So anything we got after that second victory on the year was a blessing. So
the rest was the cherry on the top.
Yeah, so and now we're in the off-season mode, doing the fundamentals, things that we really didn't get to do a whole lot of last year because we kind of was throwing things together at the last minute. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the future holds, what the future holds there. All I can say is on my end, I enjoyed myself. It was great to get back in it. So, yeah. So there's that. Coach K had his last regular season game in Cameron indoor. Tickets prices was out of sight. Folks was camping out for weeks.
I mean, the stars were out and bright.
So many people at that game.
The stars were out.
So many of all the former players that came back, and man, it felt
the
good.
NBA's commissioner. What's the guy name that's the
commissioner?
No, he Asian. I don't know Chinese, Japanese, Korean, what, but he the actor. He was on Ride Along too.
Ken Jeong.
I was like, who knew you even like basketball?
that he's a Duke grad. So
he a Dookie.
Yeah.
Okay. I know he was a Dookie.
Yeah, so he got roots there, and it felt, all the emotion, all the excitement in the building. My girl Debbie Antonelli was doing the special broadcast on ACC Network with Packer and Durham, where they were up in the crow's nest, just commenting on the game. They had they had a camera going on the game, had a camera going focused solely on Coach K. It was fun to watch.
Did they do a camera? Did somebody follow them this season for a documentary?
You know how they did. Know. I hope they did.
Magic. Michael Jordan, 100 years later, came out with that on.
I hope that they did, because that would be really interesting. But I just tell you, the best part about the whole experience was North Carolina ruined it, baby. Go Tar Heels.
Yep.
Man, that was beautiful. Boy, there was some boo-hooing going on. Oh, the tears was flowing. It was a beautiful sight. I'm sorry. I just had to throw that in there. One last jab.
Yeah, I need them to stop crying. Like, this ain't it.
Listen, just one last jab, because I
this
know
ain't it.
You know where this is going. This is the tried and true formula of the North Carolina and Duke rivalry. North Carolina does a big time upset at the end of the season, and Duke goes on and wins the ACC tournament. It's the same revolutionary door that happens every time.
So okay, Duke was ranked number 4. That was an upset.
It was, because North Carolina wasn't even ranked.
His kids got out there trying to do too much. I ain't even see the game, but I can imagine. I ain't know one of his kids play for him.
I know, but Buddy Boeheim plays for Coach Boeheim in Syracuse. I don't know if Coach K does.
No, it's a kid. It's at his family. I don't know if it's his son, but he's talking to his family out here on the mid court, talking to the fans more than his family. But one of them has on like all of the Duke stuff, like the long
he very
white
well
t-shirt.
could.
We're gonna have to investigate.
We should, you'd think good podcast hosts would know this information, but at
That's
this
for the
time,
people to do.
at this time,
We gotta get them homework. This is how we roll.
Hey, you know what you're coming for when you come to this show.
Right. We back,
yeah,
people.
shout out to Coach K. What a career. It'll be interesting to see what they do from here. Good luck to John Shire. He got an uphill battle coming
Is
in.
that who the coach is? You never want to be the coach after the best coach. You want to be the second coach.
Yeah, you want to be that next.
You're gonna find out.
You want to be the coach after the coach.
Yeah.
After the coach.
You don't want to be this person.
So
ask the Tennessee coach. She's still trying to find her way out the Pat Summit. And Pat been on transition how long ago?
Holly, doing TV. She ain't even in the coaching world no more. She's doing the TV
Lord,
thing.
they don't ran her out of.
Bless her heart.
See,
and
know
let me
though.
tell
She
you,
can be a witness.
And
she
this is the perfect example of the coach after the coach, because Kelly Harper, she was Kelly Jolly when she played there, is taking over after Holly. Man, they did one of those little inside the team documentaries that they always do, and they had the special was on Tennessee this past time. I think it was on the ESPN or SEC Network. SEC, it might have been the SEC Network. Anyway, just listening to her in the locker room when she's talking to the players, she reminds you. It's like that same sternness and same just the way she worded things. It's almost like you were listening to Pat. If you close your eyes, you could hear Pat.
Is that the coach? No.
Yeah, Kelly.
Now she played on the Pat, didn't?
Yeah, she was Kelly Jolly when she played there.
She pulling the ghost of Summit coming out.
I mean, she had the same mannerisms and everything. So.
Well, let me go look at Kelly Jolly because I know the name, but I can't place.
She's Kelly Harper now, but
don't know about it. Kelly Jolly gonna come up. See what I told you? Look, see what I told you? And Lord, I spelled your name wrong. Okay, Kelly Harper, I don't remember you. All right, go ahead.
Well, speaking of the SEC,
she played with Shamika.
Okay. Yeah, she played on those good teams. Those really good ones. Speaking of the SEC, we had a huge upset in the SEC Championship game.
Congratulations, Wildcats.
Yes, indeed. We're still waiting on the whole pill from Ryan Howard. And when I say the whole pill, I harken back to, and this has been something that people have asked her entire career. But Andy Landers in the post game after the semifinals, when they were going into the finals, he asked her, when you were growing up, did your mother give you the whole pill or the half pill whenever you were sick? And Ryan, not really understanding what he was asking, kind of looked at him and said, the whole pill? And he said, well, when are you going to give us as fans the whole pill? When will we get the entire package of what Ryan Howard has to offer? And she told him, tomorrow, and basically saying championship game. And she had a rough shooting night, but she still wound up with a good stat wise. But I'll tell you who came up big for them. Dre'Una.
44.
Big Dre'Una.
Quattro.
She had 27 and 9. I mean, just hit big shot after big shot.
Ain't that the kid that hit the last one?
Yes.
No, okay. Okay. I was like, what? I think that was 44 because I saw the highlight. That's the only thing I saw of the game. But I kept flipping over and I was like, 11 seconds. And I was like, who got the ball? Because unlike in football, when it'll show you who has possession of the ball. It just had the little line with under the seconds. And I was like, who has the ball though? 'Cause it was 62-61 at that time. And then I refreshed or I did something. And I was like, down goes Frazier.
Down goes Frazier. Yes. Yes, indeed. So yeah, coming into the SEC tournament, Kentucky was basically a bubble team for the NCAA, and now they have played themselves after their run all the way to maybe even a 7 seed.
Oh,
So
what?
a 7 seed is what Charlie Krim has them at now.
But how about this? There was a 7 seed in this. Maybe that'll work out again. I didn't realize they beat the 1, 2, and the 3,
They did,
which is the first time in SEC tournament history.
and it's the
I was like,
first
that's the
time
gauntlet.
since 1982 that Kentucky has won the championship, and I thought that was the first year of the SEC tournament. It actually started in 1980, and you would think I would know this because in 1980, Gillum and them played
Oh, that's
Peggy
that
Gillum
season.
beat or they lost to Tennessee in the finals of the tournament.
Okay.
So, but they beat them in the regular season that year. So you think I would have known that, but yeah, it slipped my mind. But yeah, first time since 1982, Kentucky won the championship. South
Well, I'll tell you
Carolina.
who. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, South Carolina still apparently is going to be the number 1 overall seed. This doesn't affect them at all in that way.
And I'm about to say they should. I mean, this is. I know people don't like to hear this. This is the best thing to happen to them. This is
Uh-oh.
what. Huh?
There you
You couldn't
are.
hear
Okay.
me?
We lost you for a second. We back.
This is the best thing to happen to them. Because what happened is you don't want to. You want your team to be. Now they're gonna be on their P's and Q's and not out here thinking they can't be beat.
Hmm.
But if they had ran through this and they only had lost 1 game or something or 2,
Lost
anyway,
1 to Missouri. Yep.
yeah,
So
they
that
would have
was
been like, oh, we gonna run. This is good. They needed that loss, and
they
they
needed the
wanted.
last 2 games that they had because in the fourth quarter of the previous game when they played Ole Miss was down double figures and wound up coming back. Got within 6 at one point. Causing turnover after turnover after turnover, on a press. So South
Mhm.
Carolina needed these last 2 games to show that
So
they're not invincible.
I don't know who. I mean, I ain't no telling who win it all, but for them, I would say this was good that y'all lost because y'all won the conference, like the overall thing. So you'll still get a ring. I guess they giving out rings for those still.
They give them
Who
to them.
who decided? Hey, you won it all. Now we want to have a tournament to try to win it all again. Who came up with that?
Money
Oh
makers.
yeah, we the best. Oh, but what you say? What we gotta? Oh, y'all gonna make a tournament so we can play? Oh, okay.
Money,
Because
money.
all them games we played this season just wasn't enough.
Yes. Um, Over in the ACC, Miami made them a huge run. I went from basically being out of the tournament to, you know,
They got a chance to make it now
they got a
for a
good
good
shot. I
showing.
mean, they went all the way to the championship of the ACC tournament, and they just ran out of gas and ran to an NC State team that was on a mission for their back to back to back. And I think they call it a three instead of a back to back to back. They call it a pack to pack to pack. Wolf pack. I
Yeah,
thought that
that
was
ain't
pretty
it.
clever. That was
No, it's not. That ain't. Y'all need to lose that.
cool. But
Hey, get rid of that right now.
shut it down.
It ain't cute.
Yes.
Next, go ahead.
But yeah, NC State won that championship. Then the Big Ten, it was just game after game after game yesterday. Big Ten tournament final
Brian, it's March. What you saying?
had Iowa and Indiana. I mean, I was just and then Stanford came up and won theirs against Utah in the Pac-12.
Yeah, did you say Iowa won?
Iowa did, yes,
Okay, because I was like that young lady was out there balling, but if they lost,
yes.
um, what's the young lady name? The little guard.
Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. Now
She
she a
actually
senior.
she is a sophomore child.
That's right. She was a freshman last year when
Hmm.
her and the kid from UConn went at it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Did she get some help?
they got a post player. Now she was there last year, but she played big for them. She played a lot bigger role for them this year, and yesterday had a really good game against Indiana.
Okay.
Monica Sonano.
So she kind of got some, but not really.
We getting there.
But
We
that's
getting
what we
there piece
sounding
by
like.
piece.
No, nobody want to go to Iowa, and by the time they get somebody else, she gonna be gone.
So we still have some conference tournaments to decide this week. We got the Sun Belt, which will finish Sun Belt, and the Big East, which will finish up today. You know, my girls from Troy. You know how I got the Courtney Simmons and them that coach at Troy that I'm friends with. They'll finish up today, and UConn will finish up the Big East
You know
against
what? I
Villanova.
never saw Troy's basketball court, but they little football, they little setup is cute.
They do
I know
a
football
good
players don't
job.
want me to be saying cute, but
Their
that's all I
Coliseum is
got.
very nice. It's fairly new.
Yeah, it's a
So
nice little spot. Brian, let me tell you, I'm going off tangent again.
go ahead.
You rolling through there, it's little, it's like ghost town. It's so little. Probably ain't nothing in there. Ain't no reason to go there except if you playing at Troy or you was born there. Them raised 2 reasons. Maybe you worked there. Brian, when we drove by, and it was a 24-hour workout gym. It looked like it was made out of a big poster board. I was
Oh
like,
no.
that was the sign. I was like, yeah. It's Alabama. It's a little town in Alabama. That I can't even be mad at it. I can't be mad at it.
Yeah.
That sign, Brian, looked like your niece and nephew made it. But
Oh
go ahead.
my.
I'm sorry, I
Oh
got
my.
distracted. But they did have a nice stadium. Again, I didn't see the basketball court or nothing, but that football plays in the they had a little indoor track when they was doing I had went down there for some. They had to work out for some of the guys that were trying to go pro. They pro day. And I had
Okay.
gone down with a friend of mine, buddy of mine.
Well, I just think this year's it's been coming the last couple of years, been a lot more competitive. I think this year is going to be a really interesting. I don't know who's going to win. Usually with the women, you can decide before the bracket even comes out who's going to win the championship. This year it's hard to pick. There's 4 or 5
It should be
teams.
fun. It should be fun.
I'm excited.
I'm so tired of the news. And I ain't even been watching basketball in general, but women's basketball either. But come on. This morning, I'm riding my bike and I don't know what station it was. They have Kentucky knocks off number 1 on the ticker thing. But then they show some highlight of some scrub men's school hit a long last second shot. I was like, are you serious?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That half court. Yeah, I can't
Yes,
think
I
of
was like, that's the best you could do. Now, if Kentucky don't beat the number 1 team, they had a last second shot to win it. But that's what you wanted to show. All right, okay, I'm over it. Disrespectful.
Okay, well, let me get you fired back up. Let's roll to the NBA.
Oh Lord, no, don't do it, Brian. It's so sad. It's so sad what is happening.
More specifically, let's talk
Brian,
about your
we don't have to
Lakers.
do this. We don't have to do this. Brian,
Uh,
let me
T.
tell you something. Go ahead and ask your question.
I'm just
Brian,
wondering. Oh my, this, what happened? What's going
everything
on?
that everybody kept saying that these people was too old, but this is my problem. These are my problems. Cause this ain't a one. Okay. Who do we normally say the team takes their identity from? It's one of 2 people.
The coach, the best player.
Okay. Well, I think this team takes the identity of the coach. I don't know Vogel from Adam, but he seems to be laid back. Oh, it's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
And this is how this team been all year. Oh, when we get healthy. Oh, and bruh. Then early on when he was talking about, at halftime, I don't really have to say much because when I get in, when when the coaches, for people who don't know, usually the players go into the locker room and the coaches stand out and talk about, hey, what we gonna talk about, whatever, and then the head coach go in and say whatever. So he was saying that when they go in, the guys already talking to each other and doing this, that, in the field. And I was like, well, that ain't good because you're supposed to be running the team. That's nice that they think they know, but if they did, they wouldn't need a coach.
Correct.
Okay. So then the whole Westbrook thing wasn't working. Oh, what's the dude? It's a black guy that shoot. I almost said his name. Now he on NBA. When they be with Jalen. With
Paul Pierce.
no. You know Paul got fired for smoking
Oh
and doing
Lord,
whatever
yes,
that mess
Lord,
he was
I
doing.
forgot. I forgot.
Yeah.
Um,
Jalen, Stephen A.
Kendrick.
No, it's the guy. He got a show. Partner in a Rush. No, him and a white guy got a show together. What is his name? Anyway, he was saying, oh, and even Stephen A was like, I think Stephen A was saying bring him off the bench. Now, but Stephen A be saying some sensational stuff sometimes. So you can't
Mm,
tell if he's serious or playing. But I was like, yeah, he should come off the bench. Like, you got two LeBrons on the floor, except the big LeBron can shoot and the little one can't. But both of them need the ball if they're going to be out there.
yeah, I mean, I
Um,
think he would be at this point with that team. He would be much better coming off and being like the focal point of the second unit.
Yes. Second unit, go out there and get yours. Do Westbrook stuff. Take the ball, go coast to coast. Just go to the rack and put him out there with a couple of good defenders and somebody that can shoot and a big. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when you do that, you take the pressure. Because I think a lot of Westbrook's issues right now are he doesn't have the ball, and
He can't
I
shoot.
think when he does have the ball, the pressure is of those eyes, those laser focused eyes of LeBron are constantly watching, and I think that
No, he
that
can't
bothers
shoot.
him. Well, we knew that he ain't never been able to
No, no,
shoot.
no, no, no. He he ain't making even layups and stuff now, Brian. Have you seen it? He act
Oh,
like he can't even dribble.
I've seen some of the highlights where he's not even
The low
coming
lights.
close. Yeah, yeah. Hey, here's a bright spot for you. Anthony Davis looked like he on the mend.
Mr. Glass.
Yes, yes, Lord. That's another issue. When what irks me to no end is if he was healthy, this would not even be nothing no other issue they have would be a problem
So
because
say the
he
people, but that's wrong. When he was healthy, what happened? Giannis ate his lunch and took his lunch money for the rest of the week. He is not. He don't play like he want to be the best. He just think he. You would think he LeBron, or he played with LeBron like Scottie played with Michael Jordan, and he ain't had nothing to prove at this point in his career. Cause he
right,
just be out there like, oh, I'm gonna play. I ain't got nothing to prove. Giannis dominating. Then you get out there with the Suns guy. He just getting 30 points, and I'm just like, bro, you ain't that good. You can be, but yeah, okay, it's nice. 20 points, 9 rebounds or whatever. But you ain't dominating the game and your team losing.
right.
So at some point you be like, I'm gonna put the team on my back. LeBron tried to give him the team. People try to act like LeBron literally that the deal we did when he kept trying to be like, be the man, be the man. He don't want to be the man. I'm gonna be the man.
Yeah, and he tried to defer,
And now
which
you
is
see he don't even defer anymore because
mm,
he see that Anthony don't have what people would call the dog in him. He needs somebody to put some hot sauce in his food or something because he is just out there like I don't know how he is 75th. We're not going down that tangent. But the coach is part of the problem with the Lakers. The Westbrook should have never happened. I wanted DeMar DeRozan. Number two, I had no idea Westbrook's IQ is so low. Like his
yeah,
his basketball IQ. I thought as a basketball player, and you're a professional, I thought that you would be able to adjust, even if you can't shoot. Like you see guys all the time in pickup, and these not pros, but when they playing with other guys that are better, they don't get out there and pop. They take their spots to get their points or whatever, and they try to win. He just seemed like if it ain't going his way, he gonna just kind of. It's almost like he half-heartedly playing. You don't see him playing as hard. That's one of the other things. Is it me? In the highlights, he don't seem to be
No,
playing
no,
as hard as he normally does.
I agree.
And
Because
then the
there was a time in his career where he was just like all over the
full
place.
throttle.
Yes.
He is in second gear at best. He has not
So,
touched third or fourth gear. But Plinko gotta go. Plinko gotta go. He's burnt too many bridges. As an agent, possibly. You know the whole thing he did with Carlos Boozer.
mhm.
And if you don't have good credibility and people don't think you trustworthy, you're never gonna be able to make trades and stuff. And that's just part of being that job. You gotta have good.
You
Your
got to have
name
the
gotta be good out in the street.
relationship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so he gotta go. But at the end of the day, uh, Jenny Bus is gonna this team. She gonna mess around and it's gonna be just like when her brother had it. And the only thing she gonna be able to say, but I won a championship. And you know why I say that?
What's that?
Okay, thank you for asking. Um,
Sorry.
this is not a team that is got a billionaire backing them.
No.
That can be like, oh, we're going to the. I want to win. We'll go over into the tax, whatever extra tax. This team makes their money. This family makes their money through the team. A lot of these teams that this is fun. This is like a toy for them. Like I mean, dude that Cleveland Cavaliers, he the what's the loan Quicken Loans guy? Like he got money hand up. Like if this team don't ever win, he'll be fine.
Exactly.
The Clippers, I'm sure there's several other ones that I don't know exactly. The Nets, he sold that team, but that man had so much money. Um, Either way, she's destroying the team and she's letting. I don't know what the relationship with the Rambises is, but it's not their legacy that's gonna be going down the drain because I
I
don't
don't
know.
understand that. I understand that she's friends with the wife and everything like that.
I
But
think it's an unhealthy friendship with the wife.
what in the world has Kurt Rambis ever proven other than being a great role player?
Hustle. That's all he
What
could
has he
do.
proven as a coach or
He
as an
can coach
administrator?
well.
I don't understand.
And
Why are they having decision making power? I don't get it.
who do you think is going? What coach you think want this job? You were disrespectful to this man. I don't think Boga has been the best coach, but to give him a 1-year extension,
Well, you know who was in the crowd Saturday night.
I don't.
Your boy Phil. Your boy Phil
Phil
was in the
can't even
crowd.
travel.
Phil, no, Phil ain't coming back. Don't worry, people. Don't.
But even if he was young enough to,
Right.
his bad back and knees and everything else.
Yeah.
But this is the beauty. I'm glad you brought him up. But anyway, I think she's gonna run the team in the ground because they being disrespectful. Jerry West has done too much for that organization for you to treat him like, oh, we gonna take your lifetime tickets away, and then not even have the courtesy to call him and tell him that he had to find out through some regular ticket person. Yeah, that's probably not how that should go. Somebody should have a conversation about, hey, maybe we can give you a 50% off, but we really need the fund. I don't know, but I think they were just being messy. Them 2 tickets that he had wasn't costing that much that they couldn't just let him have them. So you reap what you sow. So she putting a lot of bad stuff out there because again, you give this man a 1-year extension. You could have had the Suns coach, but you wanted to pick his coaching staff. Can you imagine? Uh, what's his name that coached the Suns? He was in New Orleans.
Monty Williams.
Monty Williams with
Mhm.
LeBron
Yeah.
or Ty Lue. You see what he doing, and he ain't even got his main 2 players. They still out here winning. Well, at least they above 500. They ain't like killing
Right.
it or nothing. I don't know what coach she gonna get that wanna want somebody to pick their assistants. Like nobody want. Like I don't want you to pick my assistants. I'm grown. I know my friends. I know who I trust. So who do you think they'll get?
I don't know. I
Okay,
don't know who would
I don't.
even want to deal with it.
Right. I don't think anybody wants that job. Especially
Mm-mm.
when you talking about a 3-year contract, which was one of the sticking points for Lou. He wanted the 5, they wanted 3. And it's just like
Yeah,
I'm
cause
telling you, she's headed on the direction of her brother. Go ahead.
yeah, Ty Lue knew what he was doing. He wanted to make sure he had that compensation just in case things went left.
Well, no, you want some time, right? So you gonna take a couple of years to get your system in, and then by then, if it's 3 years, then they saying, "Oh, well, you can't win." But then by that, second, third year, they start to figure out your system, what you want to run, who you are as a person. People be like, "I want to play for him. I don't." You get agents, free agents. You get whatever. You pick a couple in the draft, and you get your system. But yeah, this train going nowhere fast. One circling back to Phil. One of the things I don't think people understand or see the value in that made Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, who else might have had? Even Doc Rivers to some level was able to do it at least with that Boston team.
Mhm.
Is managing a bunch of egos.
That's what yeah. That's basically what you need in the NBA as a coach.
And Vogel is too nice and sweet. Hey, I thought you looked at somebody.
Oh no,
Vogel,
sorry.
Vogel is too nice and sweet to apparently be like, I'm the coach. What if they fire you? They ain't give you but 1 year extension. You see how much they care about you. None. I shouldn't have to go to the to Jenny and what's his name that we just talked, the buses. Can I pull him in the fourth quarter or no? This is my team. I shouldn't be going to upper management to ask that kind of question.
Exactly.
So this is about to blow up, and unfortunately, the only saving grace is LeBron, but he been Father Time is like nipping at his heels.
Well, he no worry. He finna get it. He doing everything in the world to get his son drafted.
Oh, he
Talking about
will.
him.
He already did that by saying I'll play for whoever. Because regardless of if he's LeBron that we see now or LeBron that's just a little less better, he's still a ticket. He's still gonna fill up the
The
seats
man
and
is
sell
30.
jerseys.
What was he? 38, and
He
he got
37, I think, but he'll be 38 soon.
he'll be 38 soon. It got 56
I
the
think
other
he's a
night.
December baby, so he may not be 38 soon. But go ahead.
And he got 56 the other night. And when because I was watching the conference tournament, so I wasn't really focused on the NBA. But I went back on the on our DVR and watched the Lakers game against Golden State,
Uh-huh.
and that was an impressive 56 points.
It was, but Brian, you can't keep playing him for 40 minutes a night.
Oh no, no, he's not at that point anymore where he can do that. No.
And so once again, hey, come on, go get LeBron. Westbrook, that's who I'm talking to. Go get LeBron. Do your
Mhm.
thing. You ain't got to worry about you standing around. You ain't got to worry about cutting. Just do your thing. Go out there, run pick and roll to death. If you get it off, just take it coast to coast. Do your thing. And he might not like it at first because people's egos, they want to start because that's a whole thing. Like, you could play the most minutes when you coming off the bench, but people be like, ask you if you play basketball, yeah. What they always ask you, Brian.
You start.
I'm like, what do that matter? I play. And yes,
Uh,
I play significant minutes.
right.
Oh, but the best people start. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'm sure we'll be speaking more on the Lakers as the weeks
Probably
go by.
not. What about how they don't lost the first round? So let me finish this. I know you were finishing it, but I'm gonna
Go
finish
ahead.
my little spiel.
Hmm.
You know, I never thought I would even consider this, but at this point, I gotta find somebody to root for, and it might as well be in my home state. Go Grizzlies.
Oh my.
Now, if they playing the Lakers, obviously I can't do that. But I love Ja Morant. He be out here. Woo!
Yeah, Ja
He is a
Morant.
show.
Ja Morant has been a special
He's
special
a
thing.
show. He's put on
Especially
a
when
show.
you especially when you couple in the fact that he came into the league with Zion, and Zion has been injured almost since the day he walked in. Actually, he was injured when he first got drafted, and
Yeah, he had hurt his knee from the
yeah,
blowout. I'll
yeah,
sue
yeah.
Nike.
Mhm.
Because I don't think his knee, if that shoe doesn't burst like that, I don't think he has that knee injury. If the shoe doesn't give away,
Yeah,
now I mean that's just me. But what I say, yeah, they came in together, but I looked at his little mini documentary because it wasn't a documentary at
a
all. I
mini
guess it was
mini.
just
It was a mini
a
mini.
mini documentary. And um he didn't even know if he was gonna get a college scholarship until Murray State came calling. Like he wasn't highly sought out of even in college. And he worked his butt off to get to where he was. And then all it takes is that one NCAA run. Like Steph Curry, nobody knew him. Um, but when I saw him play, they had played UTC, and I saw him, and I was like, man, he not only can shoot, he can pass. And then
Mhm.
the next thing you know, they went on that big run in the NCAA tournament, and the rest is history.
You know what's crazy about him? Him and Zion played on the same AAU team, and they played with Devontae Sugar. They went to Ole Miss. The kid that had the vitiligo, the
Oh,
skin
okay,
condition.
I remember.
Yep. So Zion and Ja both say that Devontae Shuler was the best player on that team. So that's
Wow,
crazy how loaded that AAU team was.
yeah,
But yeah, that's part of you're talking about Ja's story. That's part of his story, being teammates with them like that.
yeah. Nobody knew them, and then he started dunking on people, and had that 17, 11, and 10 in that first game in the NCAA upset 12-5 seed. And yeah,
Now I know
now
I didn't
Memphis
have
is
him.
happy to get him.
Look, this is how little I knew about him at the time. I didn't even make that pick. That was one of my look. That's one of them bracket busters that just make me mad. You just write this, you just scratch it out like lost that one.
Yeah,
Oh
so it should be the men and the women should be fun. I guess the men got to get through their tournaments though, they
yeah,
conference
that'll be this week.
tournaments.
We'll talk more about them next Monday because we'll have a bracket and everything else to look at, nice and pretty.
Speaking of, how is our NBA team doing? Or did that just fall apart?
No, no, we well, there was a couple of weeks where I forgot to switch up the lineup, so we we still won one of those weeks, but I think we're still in first place. We're still holding on. Playoffs should be starting soon, so we still rolling. I think
Okay.
we're 15-3.
Can we trade Westbrook?
Mhm.
It was too late. I was hoping
Mm.
you had got rid of him during the season,
Yeah,
as garbage
I
as he
should
was playing.
have, but I
But
didn't foresee that
even
continuing.
if we had put him into what's his name and pulled Clay Thompson out of we had him on IR or whatever way we got him.
Yep. So glad that he's back because him and Steph, that's a 1-2 punch that you can't get enough of, especially on the fantasy level. But yeah, let's see. Next topic. I don't know what we can say other than just how horrible Russia's invasion of Ukraine is at this point. So I know that
But I say, I
there's a
got
more
something to say.
specific version. But go ahead. I'll let
I
you.
got several things to say.
I'll let you speak on that, and then we can go into the most specific issue that pertains to one of our WNBA players.
Oh God, yes.
Yes.
So just imagine, because do you know why this is happening? The backstory of it.
No, give us that.
Okay,
Give us.
the backstory from what I've been trying to, because I was like, why is this happening? So I've been looking around, looking at different stuff. This is probably a terrible analogy, but it's the best that I could do. So go back into the 1860s when the Confederate War was happening. So the South was fighting the North, right?
Mhm.
But imagine that the South, the Confederate is Ukraine, and the South is Russia. Now, you, but this don't work in this analogy because Confederates lost. So
Right.
right, but I'm just wanting you to be able to geographically see like that this how this works for this. So the North was like, okay, well, they don't like when the Berlin Wall fell and all that happened. The Confederates like, well, we want to be our own party, like we want to be our own nation, and the North was like, well, we don't want that to happen, but ultimately they decided we're gonna be our own nation. So Tennessee, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, all them, North Carolina, South Carolina, probably some of Kentucky, all them was like, we our own little entity. Well, all the time, whoever running I'm gonna say Biden, he's like, you know what? I want the Confederate states back. I want them back, and I don't care that they want to be a part because I want the whole United States. That picture of what the map looked like, I want it to be like it used to be. So the North decided, well, we just gonna take it back. So pretty much, Ukraine was part of Russia's whole, like their whole territory that they own. And after the Berlin Wall fell and all that happened, the Ukrainians, they're like, well, we want to be our own. We want to be a democracy. We want our own little nation. We got our own language. All this other. We got our own flag. We want to be our own. And all these years later, Putin has come into power and is like, nope, I want the Soviet Union back. I want Ukraine back. And I don't care how we going to get it. We're going to take it. And that's what he's doing right now. He's decided that he want the superpower that Russia used to be, which they still fairly much is, pretty much a superpower. And unfortunately for Ukraine, like doing one of this over these, all these years that have passed when, since they became their own nation, they gave up a lot of their nuclear power in one of these, some kind of treaty, which was the worst thing in the world. Because see, if they had their nukes and stuff, Russia would be like, oh, well, we're not finna start bothering them because they could just drop a bomb. Like y'all right there next door neighbors.
Right.
But now that they still have like a couple of nuclear plants, but they don't have as much arsenal as they once did. Apparently they stopped, I guess, working on it. So yeah, Putin just decided he wanted all of Russia back. And again, the best analogy is just like if the Confederates had won and was like, no, we want to be apart from the North part of this North America piece. And then somebody said, we want all of this back. And that's what he's trying to get all of it back. Come Hades or high water.
It's just a horrible situation altogether.
It is. But all these wars that's going on, I don't know how I think we care more about the bully than the people of Ukraine.
It's looking more that way, yeah.
So it's less about, we want to help them. It's more about we can't let him, this bully, get away with this.
Yeah, sadly, that's looking more like it's because I think we masking that by constantly repeating, pray for Ukraine and pray for the Ukrainian people.
Yeah, it's Yemen, or however you pronounce. It's so many countries at war we ain't care nothing about, and they people over there starving, babies gnawing off their fingers because they starving. Like I've seen video, it's horrific.
Disturbing.
And nobody seems to care. But again, this is more about who the bully is.
Mhm. That it is.
But taking this a step further, this is my problem with this, and I understand that you blessed to be a blessing, and you want to help those in need. I'm tired of this. Oh, we're gonna come up with $10 billion and we're gonna send some. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Mm.
So you can come up with $10 billion to send across the globe, but you can't pass a child tax credit to feed the kids in your own state, country.
And
Oh, okay.
there goes the cycle of the
Hmm.
same old
That's
questions.
interesting.
Like, come on.
We can come up with, oh, we're gonna send these ships here, we're gonna send that there, we're gonna send them this. And there's billions of dollars of stuff. This ain't no tax write-off. You know how companies be giving away stuff because they be like, oh well, I just write off on my tax. This
Basically,
ain't no tax write-off.
that's it.
But you don't wanna give eye and dental and all that into Medicare, Medicaid, whichever one it is, so that our elderly people don't have to pay all these supplemental packages when they retire, trying to just get some vision insurance and some hearing aids or whatever. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What? Because that's taxpayer money.
Yeah.
But again, it's more about the bully than the people of Ukraine. That's what I'll say. If it was any other country, if Poland or somebody was trying to take over Ukraine, I don't think they would kill. But since it's Putin and the big bully over there trying to
Mm.
do it, I don't know what he gonna do though if he takes it over. Okay, you gonna be done killed most of the people there and ran a majority of them out, and the people that can't leave, they not gonna just be like, oh yeah, because a portion of the east part of because if you could draw a map, a portion of the east part of um again, if you were sticking with my analogy, like
Mm.
say Kentucky, Tennessee, and Mississippi, they still identify with the North, as in they still like have a little Russian in them or whatever. But then the other side is more like we Ukrainian, we have our own language. It's a whole history lesson that I got from doing my research, and I was like, wow, I had no idea that was how that state that country was functioning. Because at one point they wouldn't allow them to speak Ukrainian, or, their language, and because they was trying to make them Russian, and at least in actions. But it's been a lot. It's been a lot. But most of the west of um, Ukraine don't really identify with that Russian history from where they all were one piece of, like they were Russia at one point. All of that was considered the Soviet Union, Russia, but um,
Right.
the little places like Estonia, I've been to Estonia. Lord, it's a whole different world when you go some of them places that burn. I was just like, wow. It was almost like being in a real live movie, as how the old buildings and just the way it looked and felt. It even had a different feel um, in parts of the places. But yeah, uh, again, my analogy was poor because Confederates lost. But if they had won and had seceded from the Union and had decided they were going to be their own little section, they would be Ukraine, and the North would be Russia. And then they said, "No, we want you back under, and we want the United States. We gonna take it back by force."
Yeah. I don't know.
It's sad because it's ugly. I saw a picture of a whole three dead bodies, a family, two kids, where a bomb had hit because Russia over there playing dirty. Again, he a bully. He ain't playing by no rules. They keep talking about these sanctions. Yeah, you can cut him off, but if he do these war crimes or whatever they call them, um, What you gonna do? He already been sanctioned to death.
Exactly.
Because apparently that's a it's it's rules to war. It's like you're killing people. How do we come up with rules? But there are rules to the game, and he's breaking them by bombing civilian targets, and then trying to say that, oh, that was a military something now.
I don't know. I
I pray
hope.
for peace though, because I don't. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
this
I
ain't it,
don't want this to
and I don't
eventually.
want to go to no nuclear situation.
Right. I don't want this to eventually have people throw that World War III out there too loosely, like it's gonna happen tomorrow. It won't happen tomorrow, but I don't want it to eventually evolve to something like that.
The only way it evolved to World War III, too much will have to happen. Too many countries will have to get involved. That's why the U.S. and Poland and the Brits and all, and they're only trying to send supplies. They're not sending it because they once they start sending soldiers and all that, then this gets way bigger, and then Putin has a reason because all he is looking for is a reason to start a world war.
Oh yeah, him and
So that's
China
why all these
ready. Him.
countries are trying to just help them. Like, here's some money, here's a plane, here's some ammunition, here's some bullets. We don't want to get involved.
Yeah.
We'll sanction them. American Express, Visa, MasterCard all say they can't use our stuff over there. TikTok only doing whatever, which is he pretty much probably don't shut down all that. All they seeing is what he want them to see.
Listen, that's the best way to stop this thing, to shut down TikTok, because young folks in Russia they will turn on Putin in a minute over some TikTok if they anything like these
They
Americans.
won't. They won't, cause they not, cause they they run a lot of propaganda. They don't let you listen to only so much, and yeah, he been on turn the internet and stuff off.
I didn't realize how
Well,
big
not
TikTok
necessarily the
was
internet, but the social media stuff. Go ahead.
until look. I said I was gonna mention my team, and I didn't realize how big TikTok was until I started working with these children.
With kids, it
They
is
are TikToking everything.
it's big with
Everything is
them,
TikTok.
and unfortunately, um, the kids don't know because they kids, but it's bad for a lot of their mental health. Um, I don't know what it's probably making burning some of their brain waves. You already can't hardly do a 30-minute talk now because kids' attention span, even adults starting to get like that because people like stuff in sound bites. They don't want to read a whole paragraph. Uh, what was the word? It was a somebody used some little and it ain't an anagram. What's the acronym for too long didn't read or something like that? TLY something something. And I was like,
Hmm.
what is that? And I was like, what? Too long didn't read? It was just an email and it wasn't that long. Are you serious? So people's attention spans are getting shorter, and yeah, I don't know. People don't
Yes,
want to read no more.
you brought up the mental health piece. Katie Meyer, people look this up. Katie Meyer, Stanford goalie,
Hmm.
she committed suicide. I think it was
When?
late last week, and
Oh,
the
shut
night
up.
before
I did not
they
know that.
found her dead, she was on TikTok complaining about being injured and knee hurting and things like. So I mean, they're out there. The mental health issue is big anywhere you go. But they've now ruled her death a suicide, which I think everybody pretty much knew from the time they found her body. But um, yeah, that's something. I'm not gonna get right into it because we're gonna have to get right back here to this Russia thing. But people, if you listen, look up Katie Meyer, Stanford goalie. All
What
the
you gotta
stories will
do is
come up.
keep your kids off social media as much as possible. Don't nobody care what everybody doing. If they jump off a bridge, Brian, if they jump off a bridge, you gonna jump off. No, that's
Yeah,
a classic.
and we're gonna watch the
That's
little
a
2 minute clip on
that's That's a classic.
Oh,
I know your parents don't say that.
oh yeah,
That's a
yeah.
classic from the
I've
old
I've heard
days.
that many times, many times.
But I mean, at some point, you just because it's if it ain't, and we'll go back to Russia and the whole Brittney situation in a second.
Mm,
But if you so when we was little, as far as my house, I didn't want to go a lot of places, but my siblings like, oh, they wanted, and my mom's like, no, you can't go. But then when you grow up, you realize, oh, you see kids getting molested, oh, they drinking, oh, this was when they experimented with drugs when they was over this random person's house, or and it don't even have to be the adult that molested them. It was an older brother of one of the kids that was, that they went to spend time with.
right.
You got this man just recently. She was 14 years old. He don't talk to her on road. It's some new mess, Brian. Some new app.
It's always something new.
She was on the app. He gets on. She have bad, her family situation. 14, you think the world falling
Right,
apart
right,
with
right.
everything. And he talks her into running away. He picks her up, takes her across state lines, rapes her. But he gonna say it was consensual. He need to be shot in a way, not literally, but um he's saying that she's her daughter. She's like, I want to go home. Thankfully, she said it to whoever was his roommate or friend. The friend confronts him or whatever they have, and I don't have all the pieces, but ultimately, the friend takes her and drops her off at a Dollar General, and I can't forget the state. And she's able to contact her parents, and that's how she didn't wind up being trafficked
Oh wow.
or abused, continue to be abused by that man.
Mm.
Because she had the courage to ask an adult and say, I'm ready to go home. Because I'm sure the man that was her, the predator, I can't even call him a man, the predator that was, that had abducted her, or would have sweet talked her and told her whatever so he could keep having sex with a child. And they should just cut his privates off and throw him in jail. But that's not neither here nor there.
That's
Um,
why. That's why. Like, I can't even let my little niece and nephews out my sight when I'm around them. I, just there's some sick people in this world.
it's sad, and you just have to overprotective. It's okay. At this
Yeah,
point, it's better than underprotective, and they wind up
exactly.
in some crazy world. You don't know where they go are, or you be like, what happened? And then they turn 30 and be talking about how this, that, what? And you ain't have no idea. But
Yeah.
speaking of crazy,
Yes,
now
indeed.
what are we doing? Running around with stuff that could be used. I don't think it was a charge of drug paraphernalia, was it? Or was it?
Brittney Griner was charged with. I'm looking at the article right here. She was. She that was uh, basically what came down to some kind of cannabis oil with vape cartridges
Hashish
and
or
everything.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wasn't gonna screw that pronunciation up. I just call it cannabis oil. And she had vape cartridges and everything in her luggage. Um, Carries a maximum of 10 years in prison. They always put that, even though it rarely ever comes to that. But because of what's going on with the Russia and Ukraine and U.S. involvement in that, people are saying that this is kind of like because this just came out. She apparently has
She been
been
in jail for a while.
detained for over a month, and
And now they think that he might use her as a pawn.
right. And this is how ignorant people are. I read comments and stuff about, oh, well, that's her fault for being over there. And listen, the reason she and many other WNBA players that I think this article lists more than a dozen WNBA players playing over in Russia. Now, most all of them, except for her, have been able to get out of the country, but I mean, they're over there because they cannot. I mean, that's where they make their money. I mean, Russia has billionaires and millionaires that are paying these girls big time. I don't even know why I say that. That's the southern in me. Sorry, they're paying these women all this big time money that they're not getting in the WNBA because the salaries are not there yet. But yeah, that's where they're going over there in the off season to make their money. But yeah, she's over
I
there
don't.
right now.
She does have some culpability. She been over there
Exactly.
too long. Did not know you don't be going over there playing with no drugs. There's no. Even if this war wasn't going on, Russia is Russia, and
Exactly.
they
Yeah.
don't play about it. Even in America, shoot, you can't carry no drug paraphernalia and stuff even in on our shores. So, and I use ours loosely, but why you think you can go to a whole nother country and these people real strict like that? And it ain't like you don't know because she done played in Russia for a minute.
She's been in Russia many years now, so
Yeah.
this is not something that she's unfamiliar with.
So I'm mad that you even took this chance. I hope she get back and write a book or something and help somebody who might make some bad decisions. Cause we all don't make bad decisions, but this is silliness. Like,
Right.
and if you addicted this bad that you can't even make good decisions, then we probably need to go to rehab and get off the stuff. Cause we don't see too many athletes lose their careers and stuff, mess around with this cannabis
Yeah.
plant that they can't stop using.
I hope that she finds her way home and everything turns out okay.
She gonna be in jail for a while, Brian. I'm just sorry to tell
yeah,
you.
they even if they don't, throw the book at her, I could see this being a situation where they keep her there. It's like just
Because part of it is somebody might be worried about it, but they more worried about trying to stop this war and hoping that this man come to his senses if he got any, than getting one person out of there.
right. I mean, it come out late last night that the U.S. Secretary of State, I believe it was, came out with that said they're going to do everything they can to help Brittney
This
get
man
back.
I want to negotiate with her. And obviously, this probably ain't going on Putin's radar, but I'm sure it has just because she a WNBA star and all that. But he lied to be like, don't get him no more help, and we'll let her go. But last I heard, they said we don't negotiate with terrorists, and that's pretty much where he been right now.
Basically.
Because when you see that stuff, them videos, I don't want to. You can't unsee stuff, but man, he bombed it, and it's just a little family laying in the street, little baby. You couldn't see their faces, but I was just like, this ain't it. This ain't it. This is not it. Humans. That's why I disassociated, Brian. Humans, awful. But
Well,
on a higher note,
yes, the
did you
Equalizer
see?
has returned.
Was it a new one?
There, let me not lie to you.
Let me
Last
go
last
Google.
week the new
That
season
one
started.
was good. With
Yes,
with
I haven't seen this one this week.
we gone a week, come back 2 weeks,
Yes.
gone 3 weeks. Did
Um,
Jada? Did you see the one with Jada?
that's the one. Yeah. Last week.
Oh, I didn't know if you saw it. That one was good.
That was very
That was
good.
probably one of the better ones because some of them been like, y'all got to write better than this. But that was probably they had good chemistry. I don't know why, but they had good chemistry on the screen.
Well, they've been
With
in
their
a few things
banter.
together. I mean, they do seem to mesh well, and I hope the girls trip too winds up being good. I know they're in the middle of
Oh, that's
getting
right.
that
They were
together.
in that together.
Yeah, so and set it off that way in.
Well, that's the only thing that I knew. That's the only thing that registered right fast in my head. But yeah, I forgot about Girls
Well,
Trip.
I do like the slow build between her and her daughter. I think more is gonna come of that now that her daughter knows what her mama does. I think she's going to trying to get more involved in their life. I can see that happening.
For who?
For the daughter, I think that she's going to try and get more involved in the life of what her mother does.
I don't know. I mean, she just being a kid right now. What lead you to believe that?
Just the more inquisitive nature of it. Now that she knows what her mama does, she just getting more and more inquisitive about it, and and just being a
I mean,
kid.
she asking because it's it's there and she leaving, but it seemed more that they trying to keep her own storyline. You know, she was following what that boy said about college and all. So I feel like they kind of keeping her storyline, They kind of don't went to Aunt Viv had no Viv. Lord have mercy, that ain't her name. Well, Aunt, whatever her name is. Uh, anyway, the aunt.
Yes,
You
Lorraine
know, she
Toussaint's
had
character. Yes.
Toussaint. Yes, she had her like we was going somewhere with her, but then it just kind of fell apart. You remember she had the girlfriend from college, the
Right.
picture,
We never heard anything
and
else
then we
about
never
that.
revisit anything with that to
It's
get
almost like we
ending.
need to have an LGBTQ moment in this
And
in
let's
one of
just
these
make this
episodes.
it
Let's throw
right
this here. Yeah.
because we don't know why the woman is living with her. Obviously, it's needed because somebody need to take care of the little girl, but the girl got a daddy, so it's just like it's so much about that character that they could flesh out for us or start to unveil. Because obviously we didn't know she was an artist until that whole thing happened.
Mhm.
But anyway, they need to do some more work. They can show us some more of these characters. Because we learned about the sniper a little more. You know, the bartender lady and her husband. We knew his situation. Anyway, CBS. It was a new one.
Okay, good. I'm gonna check it out today.
Yeah, that's on
The
my list of things. One
people
more
it
thing.
oh, go ahead.
I don't know. I gotta find a way. I gotta see Bel-Air.
Yeah, man, we in sync because that's exactly I just added it because I didn't send it to you. I didn't send those notes to you on it, but I just added it to my notes. I was just about to talk about that. The Bel
Okay,
Air
go ahead.
reboot has been
Go ahead.
it's been very good.
Man, I was
Yeah.
just like, I saw the little pieces they've been putting on YouTube. I was like, this is. I've been waiting for something good to be out. It ain't about some drug dealer. Obviously, that boy got that situation, but it's less about us selling drugs and stuff than that dynamic of him trying to grow up and all that.
I
And
mean,
Uncle Phil,
obviously the genre is different now. It's not a comedy. It's more
right?
of
It's the
a
drama.
yes, and I like the way they have changed the characters. Like Jeffrey is not the goofy, British
Yes,
butler. He
professional.
actually is like
Yeah,
he's almost like a hitman. and he's Phil's right hand man. He's kind
right.
of out there taking care of him. Ashley, uh, sh- and this what made me think about it when I brought up the whole LGBTQ moment in the Equalizer. Ashley is having feelings for females, and she got a female
She
friend of
working
hers, and
through it.
yeah. So there's that, and then
Okay.
Carlton is on drugs, and
He's
yeah,
arrogant. He's not sheltered
yes,
like that one that was in the old one.
this is definitely a new version of the
What is
show.
Uncle Phil still a lawyer or what does he do?
He is
Cause they got bank. Cause he
he's
got money on top of money.
yeah, he's doing he's up for some office. This is bad of me because I should know this,
So is
but
he gonna be? He's still a judge,
he's
or he
still
gonna
yeah,
be a
and
judge?
he's running for a political office
Okay.
that has to do with yeah.
Did we see who's Will's mama?
Yes, we've seen her, uh, and she looks fairly similar to the mother on the actual
On the first one.
on the very first show. They did I think they did a good job of the guy that plays Will. He seems a lot like Will Smith.
He can't drive.
But,
I don't know who is his designer.
um,
Um,
but no, it's
Vivian
been very
Banks
good.
is
She is an artist. Remember on the show she was a dancer or
right.
whatever. She is now, and she is a artist. And Michael Ealy looked like he gonna have a big part in this. He's like a big time art dealer, and he is kind of like having some feelings for.
All right, you better
Oh,
leave Vivian alone because I saw
yeah.
Philip and Jeffrey. Jeffrey, when I obviously I haven't seen the episode, but I saw the pieces of stuff. And Will was trying to jump the fence. Well, he didn't try. He jumped the fence trying to leave with Fresh. What's his name? He the Fresh Prince. What's Jazzy Jeff.
Oh, Jeff. Yeah, Jazzy Jeff.
When
Yes.
Jeff picked him up.
Yeah, Jazzy Jeff is a taxi driver. That's a Uber driver.
Oh, I was about to
Uh,
say,
Uber.
Lord, that was funny. He came to get him in Jazz, they call him now. Came to pick him up. I was like, he handed him that money. It's like, yeah, get out of the car. So what is Dwayne Martin? Have you seen him yet?
Yeah, he came in on the last episode. He is like Phil's campaign manager.
And then Karucha, trans, her name Ivy. Karucha was who was she? She was dating somebody. If you saw her,
Chris
you would know.
Brown.
I'm probably jacking her name up. Sorry, Karucha.
Yeah,
Sorry, KK.
yeah, I can't remember exactly.
What about Fred Wilkes? Some dude named Joe Holtz. I'm just looking at what about Connor? This dude look like he might be in college. Connor Satterfield, white guy. Cause he looked like he did. Well, at least the only white guy on this list they
Oh,
showed.
he might be Carlton's friend that had a run in with Will. They had a run in at school when Will first started, and he's been kind of trying to sabotage Will's existence ever since.
Great. So yeah, I'm looking forward to whenever I can get around to seeing it. How many episodes do they have out?
I think it's like 4. But what's interesting to me is the whole thing starts with him having a confrontation at the basketball court, like in the show.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy is like a real killer, and like he's like out to get Will. Like they find out where he is in Bel-Air, like by the second episode, and the guy's coming to get him. Well, Will talks to Jeffrey about it, and all of a sudden the guy winds up dead.
That's why you called him a hitman.
Yeah. So where they gonna go with that? What's left of that storyline? I mean, obviously the friend Ice Tray or whatever they called him on the show. I think it's just named Trey on the show on the reboot. He comes out, but him and Will get into it, over Will being that Bel-Air bougie or whatever, and wanting him to come back home. Will ain't trying to come back home, and they wind up having a falling out when he leaves. So I wonder if that's where the new part of this storyline is gonna go, because Trey he didn't seem like he was too happy.
Well, some questions gonna be asked about why this man dead.
Yeah, because he just showed up dead.
And some questions will be asked.
So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Can't wait to see where it goes. We'll talk about it further, especially whenever you whenever you get a chance to check it out.
So that should be fun.
Winning Time: The Rise of the Laker Dynasty.
Oh Lord!
Started. The first episode came out last night. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but it's on HBO Max, or HBO Max, whatever. Yeah, me and T and I are going to get together and have a watch party, and maybe we'll do a watch party for Bel-Air too. Now that I'm thinking about it, we can do a watch party for Bel-Air and get together and check out the Showtime Lakers. Since
But
right
Brandon
now,
tried to convince me to at least watch the first one because
right now things
way.
ain't too well in Laker land. I want to give you some good memories of a time when things were a little bit better.
The bad mouth and Magic ain't gonna make me feel better.
Well, it's based
even though I
off
know
of,
Magic was out there because he talk about it.
For those who are interested, Adam McKay is directing. He's the one that's done a lot of Will Ferrell and them type movies. So it's going to be his kind of humor. And it's based off the Jeff Pearlman book about the Showtime Lakers. So for anyone out there who either hasn't read or would like to read that book, that's what it's going to be based off of.
So
interested to get
I hope
involved
somebody has been chronicling his last Coach K. Yeah.
Yes, because that would be an
Get a
interesting
book like
documentary.
this or a
Hopefully, the
documentary
ACC
like
Network
this.
has done their due diligence and will put something together for us.
Because he gave him plenty of time to find somebody.
But go Tar Heels.
I forgot you were a Tar Heel fan. Lord, y'all, Brian sent me a video of him. We was on Coach K court. It wasn't called that when we was there, but half court shot. Brian, when I was under the basket, when I saw the ball in the air, apparently I knew because before it went in, I had started jumping up and down with one hand in the air.
You could see it coming. You could see it coming. Nothing but net. Nothing.
And then the kids that jumped on you like this was like a real championship game.
That was 17 years ago.
Oh my God.
That is a long.
And then Coach Ross was looking like, man, we ain't gonna say why, because we all know, well, at least me and you know why she looked like that.
It's 17 years been by, and look, she ain't going back into coaching. We could spill it.
Well, I guess it didn't matter because we weren't players.
There was some money involved. There was some cash.
And we were not players, so we could do that. That wasn't illegal.
$100. I made a good.
You made a couple hundred at least.
I made a good living off of Coach Ross back then.
That's hilarious.
But no. And this is another thing that I wanted to touch on before we get off. Shout out to Florida men's basketball and how they handled the Keontae Johnson situation. They allowed him.
Let him do the jump ball.
Yeah, that was nice. That was a good way to end, his senior year. Because bless his heart, the man was probably a lottery pick, a couple of years back before he had his heart issue. But at least he was able to stay on scholarship.
Well, let's be clear. It wasn't a heart issue. Well, it was, but it was brought on by this virus. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, yeah. So, yeah.
I think that's important to add, though, because
in
years to come, when somebody listens to our podcast, I don't know who that'll be. But if they do,
bless their heart.
Like, he didn't just have a bad heart, people. Like, he caught the virus early on, like in the early stages when
before we knew what it was.
I don't think we even had the vaccine yet. And so, yeah.
But yeah, he was able to enjoy his senior night. Got to come in and do the jump ball and everything. Got a little honor. But the biggest part of this is Mike White and them allowed him to stay on scholarship enough to get his degree. And legally, they
ain't had no choice. Allegedly, 4 years. Wink, wink. But they're really
they one at a time. Yeah, right, one at a time.
1 year contract.
That's what you don't understand till you understand it. Till it happens to you.
So 2 more things. I know this is probably running way too long, but you can cut it if you need. Coach Billy. Let's just put a pen in Coach Billy Napier, so I can talk, because I need to talk extensively about what's going on with the Florida Gators football team. Go ahead, write that down.
I'm on it.
And then rest in peace, Bookman. Lord Bookman ain't gone on to glory.
What? I didn't see it.
Yes, Bookman from Good Times done gone on to glory. His name is Johnny Brown. And they said Johnny Brown, Good Times. I was like, good Johnny Brown on Good Times. So I clicked and I was like, Bookman. And it's bad when we know your character name.
I had no idea he was.
And Johnny Brown did way more. Yeah, it was yesterday. Or maybe
the only reason I know JJ is still alive because he does them AARP.
He doing all these. Yes, not AARP. He be trying to get you to do the it's the Medicare, Medicaid one.
Medicare. I knew it was something. Yes. Yeah. That's how little I pay attention to it.
You need to call and see if you can get more benefit. Lord, I'm so tired of seeing him. Mm-hmm. And it was worse when they could actually sign up. Because, I don't have cable. And every commercial was him or the other guy. It was another guy that was doing it. But Bookman going on to glory. He'll be an ancestor.
Bookman.
Yes, 84 years of existence on Earth. I didn't see what they said he died of or nothing, but yeah, Nathan Bookman. His name is Johnny Brown. I'm sorry, because the government name.
Well, it's about time for me to roll off of here and drink my first shake
Oh,
for
I'm
the day.
glad you
I
said
done
that.
messed around and let T talk me into doing. And it's honestly the diet. This little deal you got us on for the next 2 weeks. This is a perfect time because I'm gonna be distracted by basketball for the next couple of weeks anyway. It's a perfect time for me to do something like this because I won't be thinking about eating anyway.
So, yeah, we'll talk about this off air. Go ahead. We're gonna close it.
Yeah, let me go ahead and close it out so I can get to my shake because I'm hungry.
Shake, 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 shake.
But yeah, as always, I am your host, Brian Mackay, and oh Lord, let me
What
run
is
it back.
happening?
I apologize.
Yeah.
As always, I am one of your hosts, Brian Mackay, and I am with
T. God is good, Davis.
And this has been the Mack and T Show podcast. Thank you for listening.
This is the Mack and T Show. This is the Mack and T Show. We talk movies and TV shows, sports and world news, coasting like on a world cruise. Hosted by Brian Mackay and T Davis. Yeah. You can't tame us. We're going to the top, we're becoming famous.
What time is it?
It's time for the Mack and T Show.
What time is it?
I said it's time for the Mack and T Show.